Howdy, folks, and welcome. It's Friday Night Live. Friday Nightmares.
Yeah. What is up, boys?
We got all four of us. I don't know if we've ever done it. Have we ever done all four before?
Not that I can remember.
Man, I don't think so.
Brady Bunch style.
Here soon, I guarantee it.
No.
Put too many people on here, it always does.
Blow some shit up.
It's glitching.
Is it glitching?
I just said that.
No, I think it's
especially
working.
for my stuff.
We're good. We got Wet Movie in the Heezy for Sheezy.
What's up, Brandon?
Christopher V. We were just talking about Chris V.
What's up, Chris?
Happy Friday, fellas. Wet Movie says that he had ordered New York Ninja and it's on its way. Can't wait to see it. Steve is awake right now. That may change here in the next, I don't know. It's about 4 hours past your bedtime, Steve.
It is.
Steve's going to pass out here in a second. Yeah,
Uncle
I've
Bill
never
never finished. What's up with that?
I've never finished it because I've never had a chance to watch like two of the fucking movies that I need to watch.
What ones?
It will be finished though. Like it will. As soon as
What
I can get
ones are
around
left?
to watching fucking Giallo and Dracula 3D.
Oh shit!
Head down to the Dollar Tree to buy Dracula 3D.
I've already got it. Somebody sent it to us back when we were doing screeners.
I got a $3 DVD of it.
I'm actually looking for Dracula 3D. I want the Blu-ray though. I want the 3D
I have
Blu-ray.
I downloaded a copy of it with 3D, and the 3D is horrible.
Oh, I can imagine. I
What's funny though, like
fucking
you have 3D TV, don't you, Steve?
I do.
Maybe you know the differences here, but it seems like the old style 3D, like Friday the 13th 3D, works a lot better than like the modern 3D. At least to me, it seemed to.
No, man, I think there's certain movies like a Dread in 3D that look amazing, and I have not yet seen a older 3D movie look as good as that.
Now, did you guys ever see? Did you ever go to like Universal Studios and do 3D? They had like a I don't know if you guys ever saw it, but they had like an Alfred Hitchcock 3D where you could watch the birds in 3D.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it was just because I was a kid, but I seriously felt like those birds were like all over the room. Like to me that 3D was like unreal. Like I felt like they were like surrounding me. And then now even watching any kind of 3D TV or movie or anything even in the theater, it just never seemed that way again. Like I don't know what they were using back then. For some reason I feel like it was the paper glasses, but I don't know. I just felt like I never got that same effect that I felt as a kid watching some of the 3D stuff.
I have never seen
in
a
the theater.
3D movie that I've been impressed with. Like never.
I agree.
At the theater or in any of the home video shit.
Well, a lot of the modern movies that are in 3D, it's not really even 3D though. I mean, that's the way I look at it. It's kind of like a depth thing or whatever.
Right.
It depends on if they filmed it in 3D or just post-converted it.
Like we watched, they may have post-converted, was it Man of Steel, which that sucked anyway. That was in 3D.
Yeah.
And
Really did.
Ninja Turtles, that one was in 3D. Those both sucked.
I mean, I saw the Valentine, whatever it's called there, My Bloody Valentine in 3D in the theater, and I felt like it was okay, but I don't remember it being, crazy effective.
Did we see that? But did we see that in 3D or just regular? I can't remember.
I think it was 2D.
The thing about those, sometimes you watch the movie and you just stop paying attention. You're just watching the movie, and for some reason the 3D doesn't register for some reason.
Yeah,
I just noticed like
interesting.
with Friday the 13th 3D, which I checked out a few weeks ago, like it works, but it's used during like stupid scenes. Like half the time it's like somebody has like a pole and they're like,
that's exactly what I remember. Like when he's like hanging up the clothes or whatever, that's in 3D for some fucking reason.
Yeah, like he's doing like the
Yeah,
yo-yo.
it's like somebody
you know,
has
like
a pair of scissors, and it's like, oh,
Oh, just stab you right in the fucking dick hole.
Yeah, I still remember that yo-yo scene as a kid was always the one that I was like, oh, this would look so good in 3D. No, the stupid eyeball that comes straight out.
Chris V is looking forward to Don't Go in the House and Delirium from Severin. So that's one of the announcements. There's a lot of announcements made over the last couple of days.
Hadn't that movie been out like a couple times already?
Saw it
think,
on
yeah.
DVD. Yeah.
No, it's been on
No,
Blu-ray
it's been
too.
on Blu-ray too. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think Code
I've
Red.
got it on
did they do it?
DVD. I get that movie mixed up with what was Linnea Quigley's first movie? It's not that, is it?
Don't go in the park, or stay away from
don't
the
go near
park.
the park or
don't
some
yeah
shit.
something. Yeah.
Don't do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is the
Yeah,
one,
I mean-
if you remember, where the dude, like, he kidnaps women, takes them into his house, then, like, sets them on fire in this room, like, with a fucking flamethrower. Like, it's pretty unique when it comes to that.
I definitely have the DVD. It used to, I think it came in like one of those like boxes, like, you know, like they used to put out like the triple packs or whatever, and it would be, who used to do that? Who was that?
Streak Show.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I think I have that. Might be in one of those, I believe.
I think it is.
But if
No,
you guys
wait,
want to
don't
talk
go near
about
the
any of
parks
new
in there,
releases, I haven't.
Don't go
I
near the
haven't
park.
heard any.
That's the Linnea movie, I think.
Yeah, that's in a Shriek Show 3-pack too, because I have that one.
Speaking of Linnea movies, we're going to be taking a look at New York Ninja. Just come out from Vinegar Syndrome, and Garrett, I think, is the only person that has of us four that has the actual copy.
He doesn't have the Vinegar Syndrome on the screen version.
That's the version that I had. Yeah.
That irritates
what it
the
was?
fuck out of me, by the way. I just can't stand it when companies do that.
That's like hardcore, though. Usually companies will do it like every 15 minutes or so. They have like a screening purposes thing up there for a minute, and then But no, we got a early screener copy, like a streaming link, that's the only shit I've ever gotten from Vinegar Syndrome.
It's the only thing we'll ever get from Vinegar Syndrome too, I'm pretty
Probably.
sure.
Yeah. They do well enough without sending people shit, so. But yeah, the whole movie has a big Vinegar Syndrome logo stamped over the center of the damn screen.
Really?
And I was like looking, and I was
yeah.
like, man, this is a really good looking. I would love to see what it'd look like in. Is that a 4K or is that just a regular Blu-ray, Garrett?
It's Blu-ray. It's just a regular Blu-ray, yeah.
Okay.
But
But
yeah,
I
so I
mean,
was
it's
lucky enough to. I was lucky enough to grab it at Chiller, and the archives was on my way to Chiller, so they had both of them there. So the archive had a stack before release date, and then Chiller they was selling it at the table for the first time, and you got like a free promo poster and stuff like that. So it's crazy. Like I watched this exactly a week ago, and it's just nuts to me that that's how long ago I watched this. Like it feels like 2 days ago. But yeah, it was a week ago tonight that I watched this for the first time.
I actually finished it up today watching it. I watch movies at work from time to time, and I had to do it. It was a 2-day event at work to get through it. But I'm looking forward to talking about it because it is in the same vein of those early 80s, which it is. It's an early 80s ninja movie that just was never finished, is the interesting thing about it. And some of the stuff I'm going to say about this may shock you guys tonight. I'm just going to say, you'll be like, what the fuck? But I'm looking forward to talking about this sort of thing because I love these movies like this. I actually brought out some that's in the collection now. How many people...
Ninja 3 Domination is going to be right here.
Yeah, right. But it is a Betamax version
Wow.
of Ninja 3, The Domination, Canon Pictures, baby. And I found that at the Goodwill. That was one of my Goodwill finds from back in the day. But, I don't have a Betamax player. I do have a Blu-ray player. So this was one of those movies that I think Garrett mentioned Peanut Butter Solution was one of his, where I was like, which ninja movie is this? And I think, Uncle Bill, maybe you've got you remember me talking about this back in the day, because I would buy, whenever DVD came out, I would buy every fucking ninja movie that I saw, because I'm like, which one was it? And I was remembering the opening 15, 20 minutes of this movie, which still to this day is probably the best ninja action that was ever put to film, I think. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It's hard to
fun.
beat. Like I always go back to the American Ninja movies because they were just on like all the fucking time. Like when I was growing up, and then that one was too though. Ninja 3. Like there's just certain ones that you can't get away from Michael Dudikoff.
I was talking to our good buddy Christian Hanna, who I think he's going to be talking about Ninja 3 in a video coming up about some of his favorite action movies. But he mentioned Ninja 1 and Ninja 2. Technically, those movies don't exist. What it is it's Enter the Ninja, and then Revenge of the Ninja, and then for some reason they just decided to number. They could have just called it Ninja the Domination or something like that, but they numbered that one. So, yeah, I'd say Ninja 3 is the best out of those three. Revenge of the Ninja comes in a close second. What about you, Steve? Your introduction to ninja cinema.
Well, I actually went and saw American Ninja in the theater. So that was, I guess, maybe that, but I probably rented Enter the Ninja or watched the Master TV show with Lee Van Cleef.
Okay. Yeah. Garrett, what about you and the ninja goodness?
Believe it or not, I didn't see Ninja 3 until it was released by Scream Factory. So that was the first
Really?
time I had ever seen it, yeah. Which is crazy. I never owned it on any format, like DVD or nothing. I do, growing up, like a bunch of different ones that I liked. Like I was big into like Van Damme stuff, Bruce Lee. Trying to think, even Chuck Norris stuff I was into as a kid. All those kids ninja movies that were popular. Like as soon as Ninja Turtles kind of hit, it was like Surf Ninjas, and they started to put out all those kid-friendly ninja movies. Like I was obsessed with all those. Sidekicks being one. But yeah, another good one that not many people talk about is No Retreat, No Surrender. I always found that was a real cool one. Kino put it out, and it's actually got. I'm trying to think. I get that one confused. What's the one with the young where it was like John Claude's first movie or whatever? I don't know his first movie. When that's the one.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the one. That's the one I'm.
He's the bad guy. He's the villain in that one.
Yeah, so is that the one where they had like the montage where the kid sees Bruce Lee? Is that the same movie?
Yeah.
I love that one. I think that's a real cool one if anybody hasn't checked it out. And I do have this here too because I know a lot of people are comparing this to it.
Yeah.
Is this
Miami
legit?
Connection?
I think this group is the group that did the music in.
It is. I
Sweet.
tagged them on Instagram. So
Okay.
Voyager, what's up, man?
Yeah,
they did the music for the movie. Awesome, guys.
Which I gotta.
Great job.
I was gonna
Jesus
say-
Christ, that was
I've got to say, like, I didn't have any idea. Like, I mean, I knew that it was made by a newer group, but as you're watching the movie, like, you just kind of think it's the soundtrack that was made with when the actual film was made. Like, that's how good it was. Like, it completely fooled me into thinking that at parts.
It was so on point. It was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of aspects to this movie that if you really, like, if you watch it objectively, I don't see how anybody couldn't enjoy it. I mean, it's just my opinion. We'll get into it here in just a little bit, but yeah, I think that I don't know what the issue was, why it never was finished, but the story, and someone mentioned earlier that they'd never heard of New York Ninja before. Well, I don't know if anybody had heard of it prior to this because it never was released or finished. It was in a vault somewhere since 1984.
Yeah.
Steve, you're kind of a martial arts expert, martial art movie at least. Did you ever hear of the movie at all?
Oh, no, I don't even know if anybody heard of it. I think it was just something that they found. And, I mean, I don't think that it was something that anybody knew about. I think it was just something that was found, and they figured out, who had it and if there was any rights, and then what they could do with it. And I know that they did not have any audio with it. They didn't have the audio track. Just had the video.
And the star of the movie was also the original director, John Liu, who I think this was his only American movie. So still to this day, I don't think he's ever, like he's known overseas a little bit. I think there's a couple of movies that was credited on IMDb. Another interesting thing about this movie too, the cast. Nobody knows who any of these people are.
It
So I
looks
think
like that.
if you look on IMDb, it's John Liu and I think one other actor's credited. The rest are just the people that they did the voiceovers for. So that's just kind of unheard of, man. I mean, no other crew members or anything like that. So this is just an anomaly. Like, I don't know how many of these movies I know this is going to be something that Vinegar Syndrome wants to kind of continue on, but I don't know how many movies will be at this level for them to continue doing this film preservation thing that they.
This just
talk
seems
about.
like a Don May Jr. type of thing where you just stumble upon like a film print, and nobody really knows anything about it, and then you kind of finish it with a whole ADR track. I mean, that's just not going to happen like a bunch of different times. I know that that John Liu was like a pretty big guy, pretty big martial arts star at one time away from the U.S., but he retired after this, didn't he? Like, that was the whole thing. Like, he made this, never finished it, like threw it somewhere, and then just retired. So,
Yeah, I mean, it seems like exactly that. Like, they said that they contacted him, when they were going to do this, if he wanted to do an interview or what his thoughts were. Is it okay if they use this footage? And they said that he kind of just was like, yeah, do whatever you want. And like, didn't really want anything to do with it. So
Jesus. I mean, it's not that fucking bad. That's the thing.
yeah,
like,
it's strange. I don't know why. Did you guys, when you guys got your screener, did you get the documentary with it too, or no?
No, it's just the
No.
movie. I was going to
Okay,
ask
so
you about the features and stuff like that. If you've
Yeah,
seen
so
any
there's
of
a
it.
documentary on it. There's a thing about the music. There's something about I'm trying to think what else they talked about. There's a bunch of documentary. I mean, there's a bunch of like little small documentaries, and there's a large one about kind of the restoration of this and how they found it and all this stuff. And yeah, they talk about reaching out to him, finally finding him, and he didn't really want anything to do with it, I guess. So it was either that, I don't remember, or maybe he just kind of never returned their call. I forget, but I know they did try to reach out to him and figure out, what if he could help out. And they wanted to know like what it was about, because again, I don't know if they had to hire, I think, lip readers to try to figure out what some of the audio was, and then they just had people kind of splice it in. But I mean, as a whole, like you
It's
said, to
fucking
find
hilarious,
something
though.
like this and be able to kind of splice it all together into, he said the movie that we see now is not what the real movie really was. Like, they had to do a lot of splicing and putting things in different spots, and so he doesn't even know if this is kind of like their own reimagining, basically.
This is
Because he
not
didn't
the
know where
director's
scenes went.
cut of New
Yeah,
York
like he
Ninja.
said
Is
there
that what
was
you're saying?
They said there was so many reels that they weren't sure like where things fit in the movie, so they kind of had to like recreate. And I guess there was a lot of stuff they left on the cutting room floor because they didn't know where to put it in the movie. Like, they're like, this makes the most sense. Let's just do it this way. And it's just pretty incredible thing that they have done here, I think. And that's what I think is going to set this apart, is just like you said, like, when does something like this happen where they find a movie that's like this and then just recreate it in X amount of years later? It's nuts.
I'm going to hold out for the John Liu director's edition, though.
He's going to see the hype and be like, I want
Well,
part of this now.
Shit.
They
You know
hint
he
at a
will,
sequel
too.
at the end, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but the movie is like, I mean, it's as basic as a plot as you can get. John Liu plays John. He works in New York City as he does some sort of work for a TV station, news station.
He's like
And
the sound guy, I think.
Yeah.
All within the first 3 minutes of the movie, he finds out that his wife is pregnant and his wife gets murdered by one of the gangs in the city, right? So at that point, he's he's down in the dumps, and he's like, "Oh, this is bullshit." And, you know, he can't get the authorities to really cooperate with him, and then he finds these samurai swords and decides that he's going to, you know, take matters into his own hands and become the New York Ninja.
As you do, yeah.
You know, and then
Yeah.
the movie, though, you're talking about, like, they didn't really have any script, any audio. And when they film a movie, I mean, it's in however many reels or source material they've got. I don't know. But yeah, it's like a puzzle, man. I mean, I would imagine this would be very, very difficult and time consuming to put together. Even though the majority of the movie is fight scenes and stuff like that, but you still got to kind of figure out some semblance of the story in between there. I mean, it's kind of typical 80s action revenge.
Well,
shit,
the first 5 minutes of the movie, which is basically the whole plot, like it sets up the whole plot in the first 5 minutes. I was sitting there thinking, this is Ninja Death Wish. Like, somebody watched Death Wish, and they were like, all right, if we added a ninja to this, it'd be even better, because that's the exact, like, same kind of plot. And that was huge around that time period, too, was just the idea of, like, a vigilante kind of...
Yeah, if Trauma made it, that's what it would be.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean,
that's if Trauma used actually, like, quality equipment, though.
I'm not saying that that's a bad thing either, though, because I actually think that that's like the simpler the premise, the better in a movie like this, really. So that's like actually a good quality about the film.
Yeah, they said they didn't have a lot of money either with this as well, filming it originally in '84. They had a really, really small budget, but between the restoration and the way it was shot, like, I actually think it looks pretty damn good, considering, being low budget and then having to restore it all. Like, I feel like they did a great job. Like, for instance, I have another movie here. I don't know if you guys grabbed it, called Commando Ninja. It just came out from like a partner label from Vinegar Syndrome, and I threw it in because people said it was very similar, and it was, you could just tell the difference in budget. Commando Ninja seemed very indie, and this felt professional enough, as a film.
Great.
I feel
I mean, like the movie looks amazing.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's just incredible how they were able to do it, especially being on a low budget. I don't know, the way it was shot was still pretty damn good, and it feels like a feature, like a big feature. But yeah, I mean, I think the opening scene, I was with a group of people when I watched it, so that's why when I talked to you guys before, I was like, you might have a different experience than me, because I don't know what my experience would have been if I was sitting in my couch by myself watching this for the first time. But, that first scene where he's talking to his girlfriend and she tells him he's pregnant, like, we were all in at that point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just his reaction and stuff, we were like, dude, what is this? And at that point we were already like so bought in to the whole thing, just based on just that dialogue right away and how like cringy and stuff it was, but it was just so funny.
Let me tell you where it got me. Now, here's where it got me. When I started seeing the throwing stars and we started rolling around in the fucking with the roller skates and shit, I was like, I cannot give this movie a bad review. I can't.
I can also pinpoint the exact moment when I was like, I know I'm going to like this movie. It's when, like, he figures out that his wife's dead and everything, and he's sitting at this like little like card table or something, and he fucking axe kicks it in half, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be great.
And it's on top of a roof.
Yeah.
Why would they do this? But I guess they already set it up before she got killed.
Yeah, why was all this shit up there on the roof? Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Well,
samurai swords and
what was that chick's wig, man?
Yeah, did she say happy birthday to him at the beginning or something? So like he's sitting up at his own birthday party, like he's at his own party just waiting for people to show up.
Now, something else that I hadn't seen in Ninja movie before, and he does this like 3 or 4 different times in the movie. He's got like a ball of salt or something like Mr. Fuji would have back in the day, and
which
uses
amazing.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the scene with the mirror. You guys remember the mirror scene? I don't want to spoil it for everybody, but I'm like, what the fuck is even happening there? I don't even know what the hell.
I'm trying to remember. I forget. Was he looking at himself in the mirror?
No, he's got a little mirror and he's using it against the one of the bad guys.
Yeah. That doesn't. Yeah, that whole storyline was one we were all kind of like, what the heck? Because we don't want to spoil everything, but they tell you that what this guy's weakness is, and you're kind of like, what? Like he's only affected by light when it's coming off a mirror, but he's like outside in the daytime. You know what I mean? Like nothing kind of made sense when it came to that.
No, but I just loved it anyway, though. I mean, it's kind of like one of those things like, what the but yeah.
I like the fact too that they stick with the whole like there's like main bosses. There's two different guys, like the redheaded guy and like the other guy, and like they're driving around in limousines talking to each other and shit. It's just perfect, man. It's like everything that you would expect from the 80s. Like these guys but I tell you, I don't know if anybody else noticed this or if I'm the only one that knows this, but I don't know if it's where the movie was cut together in a certain way, but if you took a shot for every single time that somebody pulled a gun on somebody and then somebody pulled a gun on that person that pulled the gun, you'd be dead by the end of this movie. There's probably 10 different shots of somebody like one of the black cop like pulling a gun, and then like one of the bad guys will come up behind him and pull like a gun at him and be like, drop it. And then they do that shit to the ninja too, like 10 different times, and he always fucking like kicks the gun out of their hands. Like, how many fucking times would you pull a gun on somebody and just be like, okay, don't move? Before you were just like, I need to shoot this guy because he's going to like throw a fucking paintball at me or whatever.
And these revolvers are like little 22s or something.
Yeah.
I mean, little bitty barrel. I mean, I've never seen anything. Like a 38.
Well, before we move on, I saw a comment come through saying, is this worth a purchase? Do you guys want to kind of just give your overall opinion on it before we start getting more into the spoiler aspect of it on like what you guys think? Because again, you guys don't own it, right? So are you planning on buying this?
Yeah. I think I will. I mean, I don't know if I'll rewatch it very much, but it's definitely worth a watch. The fact that Vinegar Syndrome went to all of this trouble to fix this movie, and it's actually good. And it's got, like, if you're a fan of ninja movies and just hokey shit like that, then I think this is a must purchase.
I would say I'm probably not going to buy it but that's not because it's not great, because it actually is. It's just like I've never been huge into like the ninja subgenre or whatever. But I would recommend it to anybody that likes cult films, ninja films, anything like that. And I would say like definitely buy it.
What about you, Steve? Are you going to buy it?
Maybe. I might have to wait until it gets a little cheaper, but I possibly will buy it.
Well,
I mean, it's a goofy movie for, it's like something you would turn on USA Network in the 90s and catch it at USA up all night or something.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like every Cynthia Rothrock movie ever fucking made.
Cynthia Rothrock is in the movie. We can talk about that, too.
That's fitting, dude.
Some of the voiceovers in the movie, which John, the lead, was voiced over by Don the Dragon Wilson. Linnea Quigley was the news reporter with the wig. What was the deal with that, by the way?
I have no idea.
They actually talked to her in the documentary, that woman. So she's in the documentary.
That may have been the other woman that they credited, right? And then Cynthia Rothrock, Ginger Lynn Allen, Michael Berryman is like the voices over the heavy in the movie, the bad guy. And going back though, I mean, as far as the movie goes, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. But if you're a fan of martial arts movies and all that, I don't see how you wouldn't enjoy it. I mean, or if you're just a fan of B movies.
Yeah, I saw somebody say something about a Gregory Hole movie, and this is almost like a Gregory Hole movie, except the same characters are throughout the whole film instead of 2 or 3 films put together.
Yeah. If I had to compare it to anything, in my opinion, I think Miami Connection is one that I would really look at. But I think Miami Connection it feels different because this was like I think they were going for it to be really hokey like that. Where I think Miami Ninja I think was taking itself super seriously, and it just happened to be the way it came out. So I think that was the difference when it comes to that. But I would almost take Miami Connection and almost kind of combine like The Room, and like that's what
Yeah.
I think that this movie kind of reminds me of. Like it reminds me like if Tommy Wiseau did like a martial art movie or something. Like this is kind of what we got. And I mean, I'm super happy I own it because this is the type of movie, and there's not many that like if you have people over and you want to show them something just kind of off the wall and have like a party movie. Like I can't wait to show my brother this. Like I can't wait to sit down with him and watch this again. Like I just think we're just gonna have like a ball with it because there's just so many things that you can just find and just laugh about, and that's why I think it's definitely a cool one to have. And I don't know what the situation is on how limited this is going to be. Maybe it says it on the website, but when they were only letting you buy 2, like they said, you can't have any more than 2 per person. And I think it says on the website too. So I don't know if that is because it's going to be so limited. And if that's the case, knowing Vinegar Syndrome, I would say definitely probably grab this. If it's going to be like one of those like hard to find movies in, a month or so. I don't know the story on like how limited this is going to be.
I would imagine they put a lot of resources into this though, and they're going to want to sell a lot of copies of this.
And it's a great set. If you didn't check out my review, check it out because I go through each thing. But it's a thick box, and it folds out, and there's like a you've got another whole disc in there with a slip cover. It comes with a book, and I mean they really put everything into that for sure.
Here's the best thing I can say about this movie. Like, it's exactly what you would think it is. Like, when I read about the concept of it and, like, when it was made and all that, it was like when I watched the movie, it was exactly like what I was hoping that it would be. It's really, amazing in that way because even though it is dubbed and everything like that, like, it's still on par with any other ninja movie that was made around that time period. I mean, it looks the same, it sounds the same. There's nothing really like that stands out about it. It's hilarious in like a lot of different ways. Like a lot of the fight scenes are great. I really like the fact too, I don't know why, like in old school ninja style where he doesn't really kill people. He just like throws like ninja stars at him and shit and like the little balls and like not until the very
Poison
end.
darts. The poison darts.
Yeah, does he really like kill anybody? So, yeah.
What I was going to say, though, that may shock some people, and I like Vinegar Syndrome stuff, but I think overall, as a filmmaking project, that this is the most impressive thing that they've ever done.
I
When you see what was there in the beginning, which is just a bunch of film footage. So this is a movie from 1984 that was made in 84. I don't know if it sealed up in a vault for that time because the quality, the picture quality on the movie is freaking amazing. It looks like a brand new movie.
I think what happened was, and again, I watched all these features, but again, like I said, it's been almost a week now. And there was so many different features on here, but for some reason I feel that they bought a lot of stuff, like a big lot of like film reels, and this was in there, and everybody was like, well, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And then when they kind of put it in, they researched it. They kind of found out what it was, and they said, "Well." And then whoever was selling the lots, like, "Well, do you want this too?" And they're like, "Absolutely." So I think it was bought in like a lot of other things. I think it was just kind of mixed in. I'm not sure where they got it from. They might say that, but I think they just kind of came across it as they were, because I think they just buy like a lot of this kind of stuff, and it just happened to be in there, and I don't think anybody knows where the heck it's been.
Yeah, there's not much known about it. I mean, I was trying to Google some about it today, and there's not. I mean, other than the stuff that Vinegar Syndrome put out about it, there's nothing. I mean, so that whole aspect of it is crazy. I think the Voyager guys did a killer job on the soundtrack because it fit totally. It sounds just like something from the early '80s.
Right.
for sure. And yeah, if you're a fan of that early to mid '80s ninja stuff, this is right up your alley. I mean, this is a perfect double feature with Ninja 3: The Domination.
Agree. I mean, it's super fun. We didn't really touch upon it, but all the gang members, to me, we would die and laughing because just like the outfits and wardrobe, it was so random. Like one guy had like a pantyhose on his head, the other guy had like a jock strap on his face. Like it was just the most random, wardrobe. And it was kind of funny because he kept beating up these guys, and then all of a sudden, like later in the movie, it's like the same 10 guys, and they've got like bandages on them from like when they got beat up before and stuff like that. And
there's one scene where he's like, there's one scene on a rooftop where he kicks the shit out of him, and then everybody gets back up and they're like, "You ready for round 2?" And like he kicks the shit out of him again. Yeah. I'm like, what? So these guys just
kept beating up the same guys. Yeah.
And then
you noticed the guy? There was one of the henchmen that had the skull mask from Halloween 3 on. Did you notice that?
Yeah, that's true. The one that got me though, and I thought this was like a Street Fighter 2 character or something, was the guy at the end with like the fencing swords, where he's like he's got the samurai swords and the guy's got the fencing swords, and like that's just amazing.
What was he doing with his rat tail? He would stick it in his mouth.
Yeah. It's like Vega. Maybe that's where they got. Well, no, that's not where they got Vega because nobody's seen this movie. But still, that's what it looks like.
But that character alone it was crazy because you look at that and you seem like that character would be something modern that they would put in this movie to like try to make it seem 80s martial arts. Like it's mind-boggling that character was made for this movie. Like it just doesn't. It almost seems too perfect.
Well, like, that's what I thought.
Seem like a guy out of a video game.
When I heard about this movie, I was like, okay, so this is like one of those deals like WNUF where like Vinegar Syndrome is making a movie that looks like it was made in like the 80s. That's the first thought that I had, but I didn't realize it was actually like seriously made in the 80s. And I still kind of wonder if they're not just going to be like, surprised, motherfuckers, like we actually made this. Like it's not really from the 80s.
The only, it's in, New York City in the 80s. I mean, you're not going to get new footage.
I mean, John Liu's not going to like de-age by 40 years.
Yeah, the World Trade Center's featured in it quite a bit. They ain't no bringing that shit back.
The roller skating scene to me was like one of those scenes that we were just going nuts laughing because it was just so bonkers and off the wall and random. And it's so random because it didn't make sense on why he had those on, and then you never saw them again after that whole scene. Like he just skated down the street, he's beating up all the guys. Skates off, and then never again do we mention skates. So it's kind of like, where'd he get them? And like, why did?
Well, you notice that same scene. He goes from having the skates on, and then they cut. He doesn't have the skates on. So
I think that
he's got some sort of weird,
And he was skating. He could just do punches and stuff. He wasn't doing.
He wasn't even kicking with the skates. No. I was like, dude, kick with the skates. That would hurt so bad.
Yeah.
There's some legitimately cool shots in this movie though, like other than just the random kind of hilarious shit. Like the scene where I don't remember what was going on. They were talking, like the bad guy was talking to somebody, and like they look up and they're like, "Oh shit, it's the ninja tower or something like this." Right, jumps down onto the car. So I mean, there's some cool stuff in it that's actually not kind of campy, I should say. It's pretty in at that time period too.
Yeah, and it had good effects for what it was too. I felt like it was fine. You said it seemed kind of trauma-esque when it came to some of the effects, which again I felt worked. But yeah.
But I mean, if some of it was so repetitious because like they had to cut the stuff back into it, or if it was so repetitious just because that's how they filmed it, like. He does probably 50 fucking like roundhouse kicks to knock weapons out of people's hands throughout this movie. It's like, was that because they didn't have? Was that just his gimmick that he did that like all the time? And certain things like the guys pulling guns on like after
I like
a while,
when they surround him and like there's like 10 or 12 guys surrounding him, but like everybody just takes turns. Where like they'll beat up one guy and everybody is like waiting and the guy's got a bat and he's like waiting till he like gets to him or whatever.
And how many times did he roundhouse kick 2 guys at the same time? Like I saw that probably 5 different times this movie.
Guy's holding a knife like this, but he's like,
Yeah.
he won't stab him until he like turns towards him. I'm like, what is he doing?
there-
He could have stabbed him like 6 times.
But to be fair, there's a lot of movies, like Van Damme movies, that came out
Yeah.
where they did the same shit. Like somebody would just be standing there with a bat waiting on like Van Damme to kick somebody else, and they'll run in, get their ass kicked. Like it's just a circle of guys that do
That's
nothing.
just how it was in the 80s.
Yeah.
yeah.
People
What
were
about the
frozen
random
in
scene
terror.
with where he was hanging out with that little kid? It
The
was like
Speedos.
super
He's got
weird.
the-
He's like in
He's
the
got the
water
tight
with, like,
red
the little bathing
Speedos
suit on. And the kid's like watching him in the water, like trying to catch the fish with his mouth. Like
I thought for sure the kid was killed. I figured they're going to kill that kid. Like that's why they brought him in here. He's going to die.
he's gonna be L.A. Ninja. That little kid.
Him and Chris Farley together as the Beverly
Oh my
Hills.
God. That's so funny.
But yeah, they did hint at L.A. Ninja. Is that going to be a brand new movie that they're going to?
It's gotta be.
Maybe they got
Yeah.
more reels.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They're like, apparently Vinegar Syndrome is like the American Pickers of film studios. Now they just go around buying shit and fixing it up.
I got to think though they put a shit ton of money in this.
Oh yeah. They'd have to, of course.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering,
because, I
like,
mean,
how. I would like to see a print of how bad the film was before they actually fixed it up to get an idea of like what they did.
Well, I mean, I almost think that the print itself was probably in good shape, but it just wasn't in any
Order or anything.
like it was just as they left it when they quit filming it, right? So, not just the voiceovers, but the ADR and all that shit, like the background noises, the Foley sound, whatever the hell they call it. That takes fucking. I mean, not very often does a movie come along where you have to redo the whole damn thing. And in addition to figuring out what the hell these motherfuckers were saying, right?
Yeah.
That's just crazy. It's got to be years. I mean, this had to take them years to get complete.
You know, I'm gonna rewatch the documentary because I might have missed exactly like some of these key points that they actually said exactly how long it took them to do. But you're right, and like they said, the beginning of the scene with him and his wife, like, or his girlfriend, and she's like, "I'm pregnant." Like, who knows if that was even the start of the movie? That could have been a quarter of the way in, you know, for all we know. I mean, they said there was a lot of stuff they didn't use. So, and there is deleted scenes on here, which I haven't watched. So
I just like the fact that within the first 5 minutes, she tells him that and then gets killed. Like the whole movie starts like
Imagine,
right.
imagine how long this movie is if they didn't use everything.
yeah,
I mean, that's true. Like nobody has any idea what the. I mean, I'm sure it was loosely based on what they intended, but yeah, they didn't have a script or anything. They kind of had to just get lip readers or whatever the hell they did to get started on this. And who knows how many hours of footage they had to go through before they even started piecing this shit together. I mean, I just think as an overall project, this was one of the most ambitious things that I've ever seen any movie studio, especially at the boutique level. I don't know if there could be anything else that would be more complicated and putting together than this.
I totally agree. I think it was amazing. Like you said, you took nothing and made it something, which is very odd to have happen. Like we talk about special features and stuff like, oh, they found, 2-minute clip of this and how much that is a big deal. Like the full freaking feature here. Like, and I know we just talked about the Halloween 5 and how he had to put his own audio in and stuff like that. But I mean, those were a couple grunts and stuff here and there with a little bit of dialogue. But like this again, this was a full thing. You had to get all these people to do the voices for every character. I mean, like you said, I can't imagine how long this took.
Chris V says it may be on YouTube if anybody wants to check it out.
I think Michael Felsher could do it. I feel like he could edit this whole movie together
And I want to say too,
with a black little. Yeah.
we did our Halloween video. We do need to say this because I think Slippy got a little bit upset. I don't know if at us
We didn't
or
fucking
what.
do it to him.
So, there was a clip that we showed during the end of that video that was Michael Myers like stumbling to the ground, and it looked like somebody had just cut out a shape of Michael Myers, and it looked pretty shitty. That is not how Felcher turned it in. Okay, so that was somebody at Scheme Factory fucking up again for the millionth time with that release.
Yeah, I would love to hear. We guys, if you haven't watched that Halloween 5 Dr. Death footage video, I watched it a couple times, and some other people watched it too, and they were like laughing hysterically at some of the stuff. And I feel like it's some pretty cool, like entertaining stuff in there. And like you said, we kind of stumbled across this mix up that no one had talked about prior to that, which was that scene where it looks like he's cropped in it. It just makes the whole thing look real, crappy, like almost like a non-finished product. And like you said, you brought it up to him and he was like, well, that's not how I turned it in. And when you look on YouTube, it looks a hell of a lot better. And then when you look at the discs that we all got, or at least me and you, I would love to hear what everybody else says from Screen Factory. It was like, it's almost like they gave us like draft 3 footage.
Well,
like,
here's
special feature,
Here's what I've learned though. You're not going to get people, for whatever fucking reason, the majority of people to talk shit about Scream Factory. I don't know why. Like, most of the reviewers I've seen on YouTube that review these movies are sucking at the teat, the teat, if you will, of Scream Factory, and they ain't gonna say nothing. I don't know why.
What's bad is most of them end up buying the shit anyway. So why don't you just fucking be honest? I mean, hell, you ain't even get nothing from them, so fuck.
That's my thing. Like, I like what they do. I think the transfers and stuff that they did was great, and I'm gonna always continue to support that. But at the same time, like, I do think that just from a standpoint of make it known, because if we just ignore things sometimes, then why would they ever change, right? Like, there was some people that were like, oh, my Halloween came missing a disc, and they posted it in like a fan group. And the answer that people were saying was like, well, if you have the Blu-ray box set, and don't worry about it. It's like, no, you should be pissed. Like, that you just paid X amount of dollars and it's going to come like half complete. Like, I have 10 Blu-rays of Halloween. I would not be like, oh, well, they forgot a disc, but I already own it, so I'm just going to leave it as is. Like, why is that an okay? Like, why are people like brushing it off? Like, oh, well, don't worry about it unless you don't have the Blu-ray. Like, that's a big deal to be missing something like that.
I don't know. I feel like the Scream Factory is like the abusive husband of the boutique labels, where it's just like, this is all you're going to get. We're the only ones that can put it out, so fuck you. And then people are like, you're right. You're right. I ain't
and the
worth
thing
the
is,
shit.
too, like, they will change their ways, because, again, I wasn't happy with one of the slipcovers I got. It was all coming apart, and I reached out to him and said, listen, like, this is what's going on. And guess what? They sent me a new one. So I can't talk shit about that. They could have easily told me to go screw or put some, but when I did a video on it, people in the comments were like, oh, just glue it back. I shouldn't have to glue it back together. Like, it's not my job to like glue my slipcovers together. Like, but that was what they were saying, and which makes me think that like they wouldn't have complained then. They would just like go play, craft corner and try to fix this thing, where it's like, no, like I paid whatever for this thing. I want it to look right. And, Screen Factory did their part, and they sent me a new one. So, I'm happy on them. But if more people say these things, then maybe things will get replaced and we'll have complete editions instead of waiting for the next box set where maybe everything will be in there,
I just think that the whole thing is fucking stupid, though, when it comes to them. I saw a guy do a video where he was like, everybody needs to quit bitching because Scream Factory like made the replacement disc process so easy for me for this, like, it was like Brotherhood of Wolves or something like that. I'm like, the fact that they have a replacement disc process on every fucking thing should tell you something. Like, you should not be thrilled that they made that process easy. What you should be doing is saying, why the fuck do they have to do a replacement disc for every
fucking release? Every release. And
I would have rather had them like hold off and not release the damn thing until it was right. You know what I mean? Like, instead of going through that.
Poor old Ronnie Millsap, they're working him to death there.
He's fucking tore up.
But
anyway, New York Ninja.
It always ends up swerving to this, like.
But yeah, I mean, I would recommend, if you're a fan of that sort of movie, early 80s, mid 80s action, martial arts, ninja stuff. This is that. This is what New York Ninja is. It's just kind of, one of those movies, though. I don't know if there's a group of movies like New York Ninja, but it's the one movie that was lost and has now been found by Vinegar Syndrome and, let out after what? Almost 40 years, 37 years.
It's impressive, man. It's crazy to think that stuff, like, it just shows that, like, what else is out there? You know what I mean? Like, what else? Because I think this is going to be a cult hit, in the future, I think. And, nobody knew anything about it as of 2 weeks ago. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be on par with everything like Miami Connection. Like, people will figure it out, and a bunch of people will buy it. It'll get a cult kind of following, and it really should, because it's like I said, everything you would want it to be. Like, there's nothing about this movie that I can point to and be like, it's not fun, because it's definitely entertaining and fun. That's really all I ask.
Yeah, and that we're going to see it very soon. I wouldn't be surprised for Black Friday. We're going to see I Love New York Ninja t-shirts for sale. And we are going to probably get the vinyl. I am almost positive that we're going to see those two things.
We may get the vinyl
coming.
The I Heart New York Ninja shirt may be a problem, though, if you remember.
Because of the Jason thing or whatever?
The I Love New York thing.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that because that's in the movie. Like, they just took the I Heart New York shirts and put Ninja under New York.
Which, by the way, how hilarious was all that shit where all them little kids were beating up fucking... It's like... So, let me get this straight. And the cop or whatever was just laughing about it, or the mayor or whatever it was. Like, all these kids attacking these, like, guys with guns. That's a good idea.
We'll get the I Love New York Ninja shirts. It'll be on the website, and it'll just be like a blur, so you can't see what they're sending you.
Oh, yeah, they'll do the Severin trick.
Now, what they're going to do is spell out the word heart.
Yeah.
Also, at the very tail end of the credits, too, you had, of course, making it another early 80s movie, you had some beatboxers with a ghetto blaster doing some breakdancing moves and shit. Now, was that actually part of the movie, or was... that's what I was wondering. I was like, what? Why would that be in there?
Well, could we get around the I Love New York Ninja thing, and then in the shop.com, can we do a We Love New York Ninja shirt?
Yeah. How about we love a KY Ninja?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. KY Ninja.
That's funny. Yeah. That's actually funny, man. Yeah, for sure. That's funny. But I mean, I think that's one of those things where, strike when the iron is hot, and it's unique. You're not stealing anything, KY, it's perfect. No, that's great, man. Dude,
Shop.danpit.com.
Yeah.
35% off, bulls. This weekend and every weekend.
This week. And maybe we'll have that KY Ninja shirt before the end of the week. And just based on here, dude, there's so many damn people in this community from Kentucky. That thing will sell out quick. I had a freaking live stream with like 5 people from Kentucky and me sitting there. It was crazy.
So, yeah, that is the New York Ninja. Any last thoughts from Captain B playing over there without his fucking hat on? What the fuck, Steve?
I had a band on for a while. It's a ninja band. See, I'm a
you don't have anything on now, you dickhead.
Right.
They're rough
that's
over
what it is.
Dead Pit's rough over there. They force us to stay in gimmicks. See, like I got my hair. He's like he's gonna have the hat on. We get fined if we're not in gimmick.
It's like old time wrestling. You gotta. I can't share a room with a heel.
We'll get Steve a red and white tank top. Red and white stripe tank top.
There's you didn't know that there's like when you fill out an application to be part of the universe here, they give you a gimmick, So
I gotta sign it,
and you have to stick to it. You're gonna wear a headband.
Who would have thought just him putting on that hat in Spirit Halloween last year would have created a whole new gimmick for him?
It's a whole new industry.
He's the franchise Steve Beerfield.
Always. It's a fun movie, I guess. Like I say, it just reminded me of some goofy films you were able to rent, and definitely like some Gregory Ho films that are like two films put together. But like I said before, this one has all the same characters throughout. I like the one cop, the undercover female cop. Her kung fu or karate is like super slow.
Yeah,
Like it was
like she
super
just
slow.
learned those moves that day.
Yeah.
Oh, really quick, Tom Bryce is in here. He's one of the guys I watched this with. Tom, what's a memorable part for you on this? Told us not to break kayfabe.
Do not break kayfabe. While we're waiting on Thomas's response there, Chris V. This is a Vegas 51's hat, MILB team.
You're big into that too.
Christian Hanahara, what's going on, brother?
Yo,
We were talking about Ninja 3 last night briefly. And young Christian likes Ninja 3, so he's going to have to check out the New York Ninja. That's a high recommendation, especially if you're a fan of Ninja 3.
It's weird because I think we all four
yeah.
liked it.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that. We haven't talked about that.
Helicopter ball. Fucking, what's that noise? I was like, really?
I had a few helicopter bombs earlier.
Oh, fuck.
Give me two.
Cynthia Rothrock's voice is in it. She voices over a character in the movie.
The wig chick.
All right. Somebody tell me
That's
again.
Linnea, right?
No, the kung fu chick, undercover cop chick.
What the fuck is the deal with Cynthia Rothrock's movies? Like, I don't know. Are any of them on Blu-ray?
They had Vinegar Syndrome had the martial law movies, but those are out of print now.
The one that I always remember is China O'Brien. Is that one on
There's
Blu-ray or
none of the
not?
other ones on Blu-ray, I don't think.
See, that's the thing, man. Like, I remember a lot of those. I had the DVDs of a lot of those and stuff from childhood and whatnot because they used to show them all the time on HBO or some shit, like some streaming service, cable service. So
Joe Bob showed them.
I'd love to see those again.
Her Hong Kong stuff was really good.
Yeah,
she
there's
was
some
great.
reason. Did she sign like a movie deal with a specific studio? Maybe that's what it is, and that studio's like...
I don't know, but I'd love to
like out
hear
of-
the story behind why none of that stuff ever got... Because they put out shit that's like a lot more obscure than that nobody has any idea about.
TJ Frizzy. Right now, Vinegar Syndrome website says over 1,000 left in stock. $33. Also says the price will raise slightly after November 8th. I wonder why.
They're getting fucking out of hand, man, with their prices. Jesus Christ.
I mean, if this thing is going to raise in price, I would get it. I don't see this lasting till next Black Friday, to be honest with you. But because, again, nobody's really gotten their copies in yet. So, I mean, it's still so early that, you know, there's not a lot of hype yet behind it. I mean, the only people that have really seen it are people who've gotten screeners or at the convention or at the store. And then I think they did like 2 screenings or whatever since then. So I just feel like if that says it's going to go up in price, I would say fork over the $33 just in case this thing becomes like something that's really sought after and nobody can get it.
I think it's got the VSU packaging, right? The similar to the which
Like,
that's why I thought it was in
Samurai and all that
4K. But I think if anything, that packaging will go out of print. I just think they spent they spent so much money on making this movie. I don't see the movie itself ever going. I mean, they've got to make that money back. I'm guessing is what they're thinking on it.
And especially
It's
because
all about the
it's like-
Benjamins.
it's not like they're going to lose the rights to this movie where other ones it might be like, for instance, Rad, like they probably only had the rights to do X amount of time where they were able to do Rad, where this is their own thing. So you might end up just getting this, which is like the no slipcase version of it. Like this might be what ends up becoming released in the long run. Like you said, I guess you made a really good point. That's probably what's going to end up happening.
But yeah, that's what I do, Steve. I make good points.
You make good points.
Vinegar Syndrome, though, speaking of which, they sent out an email newsletter today. Did you guys get it? Did you hear any of the hints about stuff that's coming out? You know, their Black Friday sale.
Oh, fuck.
I didn't read it, but I saw it.
Coming up in about 3 weeks. So they threw out some hints here if I can read.
You can't read. Don't worry about it.
He hates reading, remember?
You got a press release?
Of course, they've got the UHD debut. Uncle Bill ordered all this shit. Flesh for Frankenstein.
Flesh for Frankenstein.
That's including their November titles.
It's the Billy
November to remember.
Dario Argento, Giallo, Troma, and William Malone, piece of shit movie that for some reason people like it. It's fucking awful, though. It's called Creature from
It sucks.
84, 85. That movie sucks dick. I just wanted to let everybody know, like, it's not very good. Don't let them tell you it is, because it's really not. It's pretty bad. Pretty boring.
Pretty bad, boys. Don't get it.
But they talk about their ferocious twosome of surprise titles. So these are movies that Uncle Bill he's already purchased in that lot. He don't know what they are.
What the fuck you giving me shit about this for?
Well, you're the only person that's done that here, though. I mean,
I feel like you're being judgmental, though, about
getting your live reaction about it.
You don't have to be judgmental about it.
So
are they going to announce those on Black Friday?
Right, but they throw out hints every week.
Right.
So, you know, we can guess at
why
what
don't we
this shit
promote
is.
that we're going to be doing the Black Friday sales, so then we can watch his reaction when he presses refresh and sees the two titles he's getting.
Oh, look, shit, I'm getting that.
I already know. At the bottom of my heart, I know that I'm not going to know what either one of these two fucking films are anyway.
Well, you know what you can do? You're going to act like you do and then get really excited.
That's why they're surprise titles.
You'll
be surprised when you hear that. Oh, what the hell's that?
That's
Surprise,
the Instagram.
motherfucker!
That's the Instagram way, though, man. You got to be like, oh, fuck, I've been waiting for this to come out for 20 years.
So, here's what they say, though. Surprise titles offer grisly assortment of murder, mayhem, gore, revenge, and general strangeness, and are headed to Blu-ray disc and UHD, baby. One of them is in 4K for the first time. The American entry of the two, one of which some may remember from its occasional cable TV broadcasts a decade or so back, is finally being graced with a disc release in any format. The non-American entry.
It's never
what
been.
Do you think it is?
It's never been on any like DVD or anything. Then
best case scenario, what do you think it could be? It could be anything within the past maybe 20 years or so.
Night Eyes
not tits.
with Andrew Stevens.
How about this one?
Is that what you're thinking? Is that what you got?
Here's the first thing that I thought of.
Witchcraft 3.
Listen to this. Now I think this is a good one. I would be happy if I got this one. They're doing a 4K of the Tiffany Shepis film Scarecrow.
I would shit my pants if it was that. That'd be amazing, but it ain't gonna be.
Bloody Murder 2 on Blu-ray.
But you said it wouldn't have had a DVD, no? Because they had a DVD of that one.
It says headed to Blue and UHD Blue for the first time. It didn't say anything about DVD.
Oh, okay.
The Hazing.
The Hazing's great. It's not as good as Scarecrow though, but it's still great.
But yeah, Scarecrow had a lot of TV. Like it was on Sci-Fi Channel a ton back in the day. So that's, the non-American entry comes from one of the most outrageous periods in this city's long and magnificent filmmaking history. Well, hell,
Hong Kong, baby. Hong Kong.
we dug deep through the archive to ensure a proper, uncut viewing experience fully restored in 4K. And there are VSAs with colorful and action-packed trilogy beautifully bound in stunning package along with a separate... There's all kinds of shit they're coming out with. So the VSAs weren't included in the shit that Uncle Bill bought. But that's like action shit.
You got to pay them more money for that shit. Let me.
Tom Bryce
You got
and
to give
Matt,
your first
you're
child
right.
for those.
Goddamn. Listen, you know how mad I would be though if I bought that subscription. They put out half these fucking movies and they're like, "Well, you don't get these, but you get it for 50%
Yeah.
off." Or whatever. Won't you suck my titty?
Yeah.
Well, you do. That's the same thing with Ninja. With Ninja New York Ninja, you get a discount, right? But you don't get it. Correct?
Yeah, it's the same shit, and that's what drives me crazy about them. Like, if you're going to pay $900 a year or whatever it is, like you should literally get every fucking thing they come out with. Like it
Buddy,
should
you get
matter.
70.
You're getting
$70,
Andy Lee's
$80 a
meat
month.
pies.
God damn.
Fuck.
I'd be so mad, man.
This
a
is
light
my
bill,
thing. This is my
Did you
thing
get
about
Debbie Does
fucking Vinegar
Dallas, or is that
Syndrome.
not part of it?
You got to get Debbie Does Dallas too.
That's not part of it. None of that shit's part of it. I don't think.
Damn.
Like the only things that are part of it are the main like titles that they come out with. Like nothing else. Like the whatever like 3 or 4 they usually come out with.
So,
Well, Tom Bryce said The Watchers. That would be cool. And Nightlife.
The what? Yeah, I was just
1989
thinking
would be
about The Watchers recently. Like that's only been on DVD. Both those movies, 1 and 2.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Little Hames.
It's not going
Scare-
to be that though, because that's too good.
Scarecrows from '88 was already out. I'm talking about the
Scream
Scarecrow
Factory.
movie from 2002.
What about Scarecrow Slayer?
Yeah.
Well, that
Nightlife
can
would
be
be
included as the bonus, baby.
That's the extra movie.
Yeah.
I'm curious though, like those York Entertainment movies, were they even shot on film? I don't know if you could even really do a Blu-ray of those.
Well, they did a Blu-ray of
Find a
freaking
way.
Boarding House.
Remember fucking York? Well, that's true.
I've actually got that, Steve. You'd be
I bet
proud.
that looks like
Fucking,
shit.
York Entertainment and shit.
Southgate.
Hey, what if it's fucking? You just did that one funeral home.
Oh,
What if it's
shit.
funeral home, Steve?
Dana will have a complete body orgasm.
It's never been out on anything. I
No.
don't think.
One other
don't know
thing,
who-
though, that Vinegar Syndrome related, though, I want to mention to you guys, and this is kind of interesting to guess at. And I went through their catalog trying to figure out what one of these is, and I think I've got it figured out, but we'll talk about it. It says, and don't forget our upcoming array of catalog slips, which will again celebrate some of our favorite films from Vinegar Syndrome's past, including our first ever catalog box set, Steve.
Oh fuck!
I don't know what that would be. I forgot.
Here's my guess. It's the Rudy Ray Moore collection.
Well, who would give a fuck?
Well, that's the only set of movies they could do, though, that would be in a box set. Right? What was it? Human Tornado, Peter Wheatstraw, and the Disco Godfather.
Disco Godfather.
Petey Wheatstraw.
Let me tell you something, Peter Wheatstraw!
And Tupelo. And the Civic Center, baby. Petey Wheatstraw.
This the most
what do you-
ridiculousness. You try to take baby doll from me, Peter Wheatstraw.
Petey Wheatstraw is a great fucking name for a wrestler. Really is.
But
Yeah,
how?
I
What do
think
they
it's-
have still to do slips for anymore? Like, what are the? They can't be that many left that never got them, right?
No,
that what
Madman
they're-
is
is that
like
what
the
they're
only
saying?
really big one.
I feel like that
Yeah.
that has to be it, because that's the only real good one left that I feel like never got one. I'm kind of looking over here at mine right now and seeing if I see anything. Did Christmas Evil ever get a slip? Do you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that one did. What about the some of the real early stuff? Didn't they do that?
Yeah, like I'm
Lost-
not
that
gonna get like Runaway Nightmare slip or whatever. I'm not gonna
That-
get that.
porno.
Buddy,
gonna
you'll get every slip that they come out with.
I'm not gonna get Massage Parlor Murders. Slip,
Yes, you
know?
will.
How
You'll
about
get it. Don't
water
you fucking
polo?
sit there and
Eventually,
lie to my
hey,
face.
they'll make them all. They'll make the lost films of the porno movies of Herschel Gordon Lewis.
They'll have the masturbating
All the-
gunman. Wait, no, that's
All the
seven.
slipcases for the porn's going to be sticky already.
That would be killer.
God damn it, Steve.
Oh my god.
But
Well, really quick, do you want me to? I'm gonna tell you what I picked up at the archive, and I don't know if any of you guys pre-ordered this already. was this.
Oh, I want to get that. Yeah.
It's pretty badass, like the way it's done. Like, I might do a full review on this because I also have the vinyl as well. Here's the thing. I wasn't happy with the transfer, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, it looks good, but it looks almost too good in the sense where the colors are so bright that it looks like everybody's wearing like fake tanner. Like, it's weird. Like, the neighbor or whatever comes to the door and he looks like he's orange. Like, it's too, like, there's too much like tint or something to it, or what do they? I don't know if they say contrast or whatever.
That's
but
what I was thinking. They turned the contrast up too much, overcorrected
yeah,
it.
It did, and I was kind of like, ooh, like, it doesn't look right. Like, everybody looks like they're wearing makeup. Like, that's like much. But it does come with the Blu-ray that I own, so I'm gonna probably do a giveaway with mine. But I haven't checked out the Blu-ray, but it's the same one I think that I had previously.
If you're gonna do a review of that, I would do like a comparison maybe of the video quality, because I remember the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray looked fine to me. I mean, I just think for some movies, I mean, I'm fine with that was a really cheap Blu-ray as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? That's a good thing. I'll try to do a comparison, just because maybe I overlooked the Blu-ray and maybe it looks similar. I don't remember ever seeing it look like that rough, where everybody looked like they were in orange makeup. Like, but I'll do a comparison. I just remember watching it and being like, oh, that doesn't really look as great as I would hoped. But I mean, in all, it still looked good. It was just little things like that, like the grass was just so green, and then everybody's kind of looked very orangey. But then I was like, was it supposed to, because it's the summer, so they wanted everybody to look tan? I don't know. Yeah, that's the first thing I did notice.
I remember Slippy and Don May talking about that. A lot of times these companies will just source shit out and they'll just run it through a machine, basically like a program that will correct the coloring. And if you don't know exactly what the hell you're doing, you'll overcorrect or undercorrect coloring on this shit, and it'll look like ass. So it just depends on whoever they're outsourcing this stuff to,
right,
to do the restoration.
But yeah, that was the first thing I noticed.
Could have got a bad
overall,
batch.
Yeah, I mean, beyond that, overall, like, great packaging, great movie in my opinion. But yeah, I'll have to do a check and see if the Blu-ray is just as bad with that, and go from there. But someone just posted, Evil Abe said, Summer Camp Nightmare Blue. Man, if I ain't been waiting for that for, I can't even tell you how long. Like, that to me is one of those movies that I feel like everybody needs to see, and not many people talk about it. It's so good.
Isn't that a Canadian movie or something, though?
I don't know, but what's his name is the it's just a great movie, and it's one of those, like, it's kind of in the horror genre. Yeah, like, Chuck Connors plays such a great character in that, big creepo character. And you get the cool guy from Friday the 13th, 6 in it or whatever there. Is it 6? 6, I think.
Chuck Connors was great, though.
Back
in the day.
Oh, yeah.
The dude is huge, by the way. He's like 6'6".
He is, yeah.
So
and he looks in this movie, because it's just him and all these little kids. He looks like a giant.
He's going to eat you.
You know, though, like, for that one in particular, and the fact that it's Canadian, because Canadian law is like, I think it's Canadian. Somebody can correct me in the chat if not. But, like, there's all kinds of Canadian movies and TV shows and stuff that have never seen the light of day on DVD or, Blu-ray or anything. And I think that's just another one on the long list.
It's sad, because there was a point where it was supposed to get a release, I think, like an official DVD release, and I had pre-ordered it on Amazon back in the day, and then they canceled my order, and the thing never came. So I don't know what happened with it. I don't know if Steve knows. Do you know, Steve?
No, I mean, I do remember something about it coming out, but yeah, never did.
Sucks.
There's also a ton of release announcements and news over this past week or so that we can go through.
Hit it, you old bitch. Hit it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I've been out of the loop. It's been a crazy week, so I missed all this stuff.
Well, this was from almost a week ago, but this is very, very exciting news if you're a fan of George A. Romero.
I'm a fan of golf.
Recently rediscovered, baby, by golf, if you will. A 3.5 hour director's cut version of George Romero's Martin has been located, returned to Richard Rubinstein and Braddock Associates for restoration and distribution. So, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're working on I think it's a 4K release, Second Sight Films. Mm-hmm. I don't know how long this would take to restore a 3.5 hour cut of Martin, but that version has been talked about online for years and years and years. I think I remember Romero talking when we interviewed him. I think he mentioned about a 3.5 hour cut that he had done. I mean, this is epic shit.
Yeah, I'm actually thrilled about that. Like that they found that. But the part that I'm not thrilled about is anybody returning anything to Richard Rubinstein. That guy's the biggest cocksucker that ever lived. Fucking jacking up prices of everything, so they never showed Dawn of the Dead on anything. Like, he's just the biggest asshole ever. But I'm glad that there's a 3.5 hour Martin cut.
Well, do you think that it's so far done that we're not going to get that on this new edition that's coming out? Or do you think that they're going to hold it and put this on there before they release their edition? I'm just curious about that, because obviously if that's something that's going to come out, then this edition they're going to put out, people are going to wait. I mean, I'm going to wait. And at the same time, is it Second Sight that did the Guest recently? Do you know? Is that who put out the Guest? Mm-hmm. All right. Here's another issue. I love the Guest. Absolutely love the Guest. I would love to have that new edition, but man, it's $70 for one movie. And I mean, I don't care what you put in there. Like, I can't justify spending $70 on the Guest. And a part of me is kind of like, is Martin going to be the same way? Is it going to be like a $70 release for Martin? And that's
not even sure.
That's a tough pill to swallow.
Why is it $70? I haven't heard that.
I don't know.
I'm not even sure I would pay $70. And I'm like a huge Romero fan, but I don't think I would pay $70 for a fucking Blu-ray of Martin. I really don't.
I heard it was going to be in black and white, or is that an alternate version or something?
I mean, that would be cool. But yeah, I was just really turned off by the Guest because I really wanted it. And, if you go on Diabolic, it's the same thing. It's like $70. I saw it in person at the Archive, and I think it was like $66 or something. And that's just a lot for one movie.
Who especially the fuck would buy that? That movie wasn't even that popular. Like, who would spend $70 for the Guest?
That's the thing. It's good, but it's not that popular. But it says on the back, like, they did a color correction on it. Like, I don't know. There's like two versions on it and stuff. And I think you get like a CD soundtrack or whatever. But still, it was just really, kind of annoying that you could pay $70 for one movie. I don't know. That's kind of pushing it for me. Second
Sight, though, also announced a Session 9 2-disc limited edition that's coming out. I know it's
I mean, I love that movie, but I would if they're going to charge like $60 or $70 for it, I wouldn't buy that one either.
Well, it's
like,
€26.99. So how much is that? Probably like $35.
35 to 40, yeah, somewhere in there.
But Session 9 didn't that come out from Scream? Didn't they already put that out? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Whatever happened to Brad Anderson, by the way? Is he still making films? Like, he did that and he did The Machinist. And I don't remember like anything else.
That's another good one, yeah.
Yeah, but somebody else was asking about. We mentioned it briefly. Severin Films, and there was a whole other discussion that come up today with Severin Films. I think David Gregory, did you guys see this post that he posted about how he hated Dawn of the Dead or something like that? Another one come up. I fucking hate them.
No, I didn't see it, but that's great.
No.
Because they evidently scooped one of their announcements. They announced Don't Go in the House and Delirium was coming, which...
It's not the good Delirium.
Just get re-released recently, or no? Is that
There's two movies, the Italian one, and this is I think the U.S. version. It's not a great film. The U.S. U.S.
So it's the same movie, but just two cuts, or is it a different?
No, I'm sorry. No, it's two completely different movies.
Oh, okay.
It's not a good movie.
These companies are fucking dumb when it comes to this stuff, man. You know they are. Like, they get pissed off if somebody fucking scoops Andy Lee's meat pies. Like, who gives a fuck?
That's what I was going to mention.
About like Delirium or anything like that.
Yeah, those movies, both of those movies are not like What the fuck? I mean, really? Is somebody going to scoop it? All Dawn of the Disc is helping Severin do is promote that shit. That's basically
right.
it.
Like,
That's
they
not
should
a
be
big.
kissing their ass, man. They really
Goddamn
should.
right.
That is not a big fucking get. I'm sorry, Severin Films. You know what would have been a good get for you? I think Garrett knows what I'm talking about. What would have been a good get for Severin
Tell him.
Films?
Drop Dead Fred would have been a good one.
Yeah. But you know why you didn't get Drop Dead Fred?
Whoa.
Made some mistakes.
Let's just say the cruel jaws at Universal Pictures yanked that son of a bitch away because you fuckers are dumb.
It may not be a good idea for you to use copyrighted titles on your fucking shit. I mean, that's just a thought.
I mean, fuck.
Yeah.
That just drives me crazy, though, man, that they get on to all these people for, doing the scoops or whatever. But the stuff they come out with is the most obscure shit that nobody cares about. They're like,
None?
oh.
None your business, that one? Nuns don't get none, Blu-ray?
Nasty
Nundle.
habits.
The Nundle.
Steve bought that, I heard. I heard Steve bought that.
I got
You
the
gotta-
photo book so I can see the nuns on paper.
You got to have the
boobs
Nundle.
hanging out. Yeah, the nundle.
You know what you should do when you do a review on it? Wear like a nun hat.
I got to find my habit. I got to find it. I have it somewhere.
Is it a nasty habit, Steve? Is it a
got the
nasty
I
habit?
hope it's clean. I hope it don't stink. But yeah,
And I'm not saying don't go in the house. It's not cool that it's cool that they're bringing it out. And Severin's brought out some good shit.
yeah.
All I'm saying is like, Jesus Christ, like,
They're just fucking like the Barry Horowitz, man. Like,
There
come
you
on.
go.
Pat ourselves on the back. We did kill her.
I just want another blurred out slip to add to my collection. So hopefully they do another one.
I'm willing to bet they ain't going to.
It's all over.
No.
They're just gonna say, "Here's a blurry." You'll get, you'll have to buy it, and it's a mystery until you get it.
That's what I want.
That'd be a
I'll
good
buy all
gimmick for
those.
them.
I'd buy all that, to be honest with you. I would.
If they're like,
Maybe
they
they'll send you
never
a
showed it.
They'll send you a blank slip, and you can just make your own. You can draw
It's
on
just
it or
got like a
something.
middle finger on it or whatever.
Also, another one too, and this is kind of funny because I know Sleepy's working on this, and I know he's going to have a lot of fun with that interview with Donna D'Erico. I'm sure she still looks pretty good. But the Vestron Video announced Candyman 3, baby, if coming to Blu-ray disc.
Day of the Dead.
Candyman Day of the Dead from 1999. The Candyman returns to try to convince his female descendant. I do kind of remember this movie, but I remember it not being very good.
I don't
It's
remember
not.
it much.
It's fucking awful.
But yeah, that one's finally Candyman 3 Day of the Dead.
Hey, you know what else Slippy's working on, though? Nightmare on Elm Street box set. That son of a
I
bitch.
saw those. I saw those images.
Yeah, they were briefly up. Oh man, we got the failed dog in the house.
All right.
Hey man,
Yeah.
I saw your version of My Truth, man. I'm sorry about all that shit.
Yeah. I loved you in
You know
Dream a
the-
Little Dream,
You
too.
cut off that big long strand and you laid it on Corey's grave.
You know what
That's
though?
Oh, yeah,
Shit.
that's right, Tom. We did see her at Chiller, Donna.
Oh, fuck.
Oh yeah, she's still looking pretty good. Donna D'Erico.
Yeah, very good. She looks like a
That was
doll.
one of Pamela Anderson's replacements, right, on
Yeah.
Baywatch back in the day. But Failed Dog, it would be Failed Dog's luck to come out with that big documentary like a week or two before COVID hit, and he knocked him out of the news. Poor
I
fella.
want to see a Corey concert in Hazard, Kentucky.
He's still
the
got the
Armory.
Angels, though, right, Steve?
Oh yeah,
He still got some of them.
He
Yeah.
got some of the angels still.
They've been defecting and dropping out.
Oh, God.
I love
So,
you, Fell Dog.
Lots of announcements I'm looking on here. I think that's about it for anything anybody give a shit about.
I don't know. I think Scream Factory should just tell everybody about the Elm Street. Cut the shit.
Jacko's getting a Blu-ray, but that's not going to be out until next year.
Jacko? Wow.
Oh, fuck.
Fell on his
It's going to
back.
have a new 2K scan restoration.
That's right.
This shit balls.
That's gonna look great.
Fucking Jacko.
Go.
Yeah, I'll keep my DVD. I think it's just fine.
No, you got to get the 2K scan of Jacko. Now, come on.
2K.
But
It
yeah, if
amazes
anybody
me the
is-
shit they come out with now, though. And
Did
like,
anybody bite on the $25 Hills Have Eyes 4K or no?
No.
I didn't.
That's a pretty good deal, though.
I mean, it
hell.
is, and I mean,
But
I'm
you-
pretty sure you could probably sell your Blu-ray set off for at least $20 to at least make most of your money back. Because before they announced that edition, that thick edition was, you could get $60 for it, no problem. Before they announced the 4K, so I'm sure it's still pretty valuable. But I didn't bite on it either, but I'd like to. I'm just curious to see like how much better could it be. And, you know, if it is, what did they do to it to make it different? Like, is it going to come back all, like I said, like the contrast is going to be crazy? Arrow does a good job, but I'm just curious, like, how different could it look than what we already have? I don't know.
Well, I think it's the same exact transfer. It's just instead of upscaling to 4K, it's actually on a 4K disc.
Whoa.
Well,
Right,
I guess
Steve?
there's not much difference because the whole packaging is you're getting all the same stuff inside. So
Because that just came out a year or two ago, not even 2 years ago, and it seems like a lot of Arrow stuff like that's getting the same price because Fan of the Mall's like $25 too, right? And it's a limited edition.
Yeah,
yeah, I have that
I-
pre-ordered already.
I still cannot believe they put that out in that kind of
Do
set.
it.
That movie.
Well, I can't either. I mean, I'm shocked. A movie no one ever talks about is getting this big edition. I mean, that is pretty mind-boggling, to be honest.
Yeah, and let's be honest, it's not the best movie. I mean,
No, it's not. It's
No.
fun. I think
Pauly
it's a fun-
Shore's good in it.
Was it Pauly Shore's?
Pauly Shore's good in it.
But yeah, I'm definitely excited for it because it has been a long time since I've seen it. But they need to do that with Summer Camp Nightmare. That's what they need to do. Big box set like that. Hell yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm excited about what Arrow's coming out with over the next year or so because they, as far as the studios go, I mean, they've pretty much, I think they've kicked everybody's ass in 2021. I mean, they've had the most interesting stuff, best prices, best features.
Well, somebody mentioned
Howard.
that they weren't going to pay like the $50 for the Synapse release of the Kindred. Listen, let me tell you something about Synapse. You should pay the $50 because it's going to be fucking insanely good. The features, the transfer, the packaging is all going to be fucking awesome. That's the only company where I would just blind buy whatever the fuck they put out.
That's true.
matter what it
I
is.
agree. Because they don't just throw things out. I mean, dude, what do they release? 4 titles a year max,
Maybe.
probably.
Yeah, probably.
Which, at the same time, you've got to like respect that in a way and be like, wow, they're really putting time and effort into these releases, and they're putting out a lot of titles that you're not seeing, more or less any other place. So I'm definitely down for it. I've never had to do a replacement disc for them. The quality
They've
always
never
good.
done
I
one.
mean,
That's the funny thing.
no, I mean the one thing though I did not buy, and I'm kind of regretting it, is Demons. I didn't buy the 4K. I do own those like Steelbook Blu-rays that came with all the funky stuff. Like I love those editions, but I hear that the 4K is even nicer. So
I couldn't believe, I honestly, and I'm not even a big Demons fan really, but I could not believe what they did to that transfer. That was one of those movies where, you know how I talked about Halloween 4, and it may look killer too, I don't know, how I was like, well, this is not like that big of a budget of a movie. How could it look great in 4K? And it looked, both of those movies, even Demons 2, they look awesome.
So, Steve, I've got the Arrow one that you've got, right?
Yeah.
So, is there that big of a difference between the Arrow one and the Synapse one?
As of yet, I don't. Dana was going to get the Synapse, but all we have is the Arrow 4Ks. So I don't know yet.
I think the transfer may be the same, but there's different features, and I think didn't you say the sound was different on the Synapse one?
I don't know. There was an issue with the sound. I thought that it was only like stereo or something on the Arrow releases, and then the Synapse has like a 5.1 or just true audio or true HD audio track. So I'm gonna rewatch Demons tomorrow.
No.
Well, fuck.
But Steve likes
Shucks.
some of his favorite Synapse releases are the Nikakatsu erotic Asian movies.
Entrails
He's
of
up.
a virgin's titties or whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, it's crazy because we were talking about this probably 6 or 7 years ago. Where is the future in, these labels and movies, physical media? And now it seems like the 4K in particular is specific for cult movies, mainly. I mean, there's a lot of classic cinema that has never been released yet to 4K. We mentioned the Godfather movies, the Rocky movies. None of those are on 4K, and yet you've got fucking Scanner Cop.
You got Ticks on 4K. They put out a
Ticks.
4K of Ticks.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
I think that's kind of cool, actually, that you're getting like, yeah.
I know you got it. I knew you had it before I said it.
Do you have Six String Samurai yet? For
No, I don't. But you know what, though? You know what? I may get that on Black Friday. Black Friday, guys, we're going to definitely do a show, right? And I suggest everybody watch it because I'm so far behind with a lot of those older titles that came out at the beginning of the year. I'm going to probably spend a lot of money on Black Friday this year just because I am so behind. And I think a lot of the ones I need are going to be on sale at this point. So,
Yeah,
Six String
you're gonna be doing
Samurai
the
is
same
one.
thing I'm
Like,
doing.
yeah, like I don't really need it, but I feel like with the nice packaging, I'm like, if I can get a deal on it, I might as well just get it now. But,
That's the thing about Vinegar Syndrome and their slip covers and their hard boxes.
Oh, they're so hard.
they do a great job with those boxes, though. I think they do a fantastic job with them. But yeah, I haven't watched Ticks in 4K yet. I actually own the Blu-ray that was worth a lot of money, and now I'm trying to get rid of it to pay for this thing. But
Yeah, I mean,
See Clint Howard in 4K getting infested.
the Vinegar Syndrome sale, though, there's not a whole lot, but there is a couple of items. I am going to finally pull the trigger. I guarantee it that night on Summer Camp Girls. I've been threatening it for over a year.
Oh,
Tell me how you like what the girl does with the hot dog.
It will be mine. Is it a hot dog or is it a kielbasa?
No, it's a foot long hot dog or something like that.
Oh, okay.
You like it because I know you like hot dogs.
Is that
what
right?
about that? What's the set that has like Fatal Exam on it? I don't have that set either, so I might grab that.
Homegrown
TV
Horrors?
Yeah, I don't have
Oh,
that
yeah.
yet, so I think
I don't
That's a
have the
crazy.
TV
That's a
set
crazy
either.
movie. That's a crazy movie. Fatal Exam.
Well, what are the ones that's on sale? Or like all the ones pre the halfway to Black Friday, right?
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
was one though. I think that was one that was earlier than that.
See, yeah, believe it or not, there's not a whole lot that I really want. That would be most of the stuff that I would want would have been after the Black Friday deal or halfway deal. So
Halfway.
What does Rob Zillow have to say down there?
the announcement, the trailer, what is it? Which one? Severin,
With
is it Delirium?
delirium. And don't go in the house.
So that excites you, Rob Zilla?
Severin does it for him.
I'm going that house.
So. Guys, have you guys got anything else? Y'all have a happy Halloween? Did you watch anything special that you wanted to mention briefly on here?
Not really. I mean, I had a good Halloween. I went to Chiller Convention last weekend. It was a good time. Saw a bunch of people I haven't seen in a while. That was cool. Got to grab some cool. Like I said, I got a bunch of Vinegar Syndrome stuff. They had a table there, so I was able to grab some stuff from them. Halloween was good. It was the first year my little guy understood what it was, so we had a blast. And then it's just been a crazy work week. I'm just trying to catch up on all this new physical media news. And I don't know. I don't think I've watched much. I watched the summer of '84 again. Got a bunch of stuff over here. I bought this too. The Grave. Does anybody have anything to say about this? Anybody have it? Know about it? I don't know anything about it either. How about this one too? This one's making me a little nervous. It's kind of a blind buy. The Laughing Dead. Does anybody know about this?
Steve knows.
Steve said
No, I don't. I haven't seen it, but Dana says she saw it and she said it was terrible. But you never know.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Maybe
that doesn't mean much because Dana likes fucking Final Exam.
I
And
know.
Funeral
Yeah.
Home.
Yeah.
That's
Terror
Funeral
on
Home.
Tour.
Terror on
God
Tour.
damn.
So you never know. Never
Now,
tell.
do you know, Steve? Do you know if this is in English or it's subtitled? Do you know?
I
wasn't
thought it was
sure.
an American film, or in English. I think.
All right. And that's about it.
One standout for me, and it's the first time I'd ever seen this movie. And I gotta say, I was shocked at how much I fucking loved it. Like, if you guys, I'm sure you guys have probably seen it by now. I bought it over the last year or so and just saved it for Halloween night. Hack-a-lantern.
Yeah.
Hack-a-lantern?
You guys all-
Yeah, I have the Blu-ray. It's a great movie. It's very underrated, I feel like. It's fun.
Yeah. I was shocked at how well I liked it because I'd heard all kinds of people talking shit about it and everything. But, yeah, it's just up my alley of cheesy, hokey shit, bad acting, all that.
Wait a minute. You went to the Mac to see H2O, didn't you? And something happened with the
Oh,
audio or
God.
something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you
I
not
didn't
go
hear
see
this.
The Exorcist?
No, I didn't have a chance
Okay.
to.
So I won a bunch of tickets to these screenings that they were doing at the Mountain Arts Center, which does primarily concerts and stuff. But they bought, it's a huge screen and a projector and everything. So I was like, fuck it, we'll check it out, Halloween H2O. I talked Sarah into going. She wasn't really that excited about fucking going anyway. She don't like that shit. So we go, and I'm like, hell, this screen's huge. The picture don't look too bad on it. But for the sound, they used just a regular PA system. And they had that son of a bitch cranked. So you couldn't, for one thing, you couldn't understand what anybody was saying during the movie. The other thing, it was giving me a fucking headache. It was so damn loud. So we made it maybe 25 minutes into the movie, and then we left.
Well,
like,
I
I
bet
can't
she
handle
said, "We're leaving, Wes.
And I said, yeah, let's go.
Grab my purse. We're leaving."
Get the fuck out of here. Shit.
But yeah, they're charging like $5 a ticket for that, and yeah, I mean that's not good. You shouldn't charge that much for something that doesn't work.
Yeah,
That's a shame, too, because I wanted to see something, but I'm kind of glad I didn't.
I mean, I'm willing to maybe try it again in the future to see if they get it fixed, but it was pretty bad.
They could have, at either because they put on shows there all the time. Somebody should know what the fuck they're doing with the audio.
Well, I just think though, like they've got the audio set up for live music though. It's probably different having it set up and calibrated or whatever.
That's
for
true.
5.1 audio because they were streaming it off something. I don't know if it's a server they got from the movie studio or what, but it was clearly in like a 5.1 audio, and they just had it going to two big old speakers.
That's bad. Well, this is what I watched Halloween. Oh, God.
Ooh, he got it. He got it.
Yeah.
That's
fuck
like a
you.
mirror. It's a reflective.
Fuck you. I watched
It's like New York Ninjas mirror.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the transfer?
It's fucking amazing. Like, I say all kinds of shit about Scream Factory, and it's all true, but the one thing that is also true is that their transfers are fucking killer. So,
Yeah.
what are you going to say? Like, it's the
No,
best
they
that
did a good
movie's
job
ever
with
looked
it.
by far.
Yeah, I actually watched the first Halloween, the new transfer on it. That transfer on it looks fucking killer, too. I mean, I don't think it's a drastic improvement over the first 4K, but it's definitely an improvement.
Well, I watched the Halloween 2 on 4K, and it looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, I ended up watching Halloween 2 on Blu-ray because I wanted to see it again. It'd been a long time since I watched it. That movie's a lot of fun. I'm kind of surprised looking back on it, though. Like, at the opening of Halloween Kills, how cool would it have been if they played Mr. Sandman?
Yeah.
That's
That
true.
would have,
Yeah.
like with the flashback scene and stuff like that. That would have been awesome.
Which I've
Or
watched
at
that
the
movie. I've watched that movie probably 2 more times since the last time we talked about it, and I'm trying to like it. I'm trying to make myself watch it enough to where I like it, and I still can't. I can't get. I mean, it's got some decent stuff in it, a few things, but overall, it's just a really fucking stupid movie.
Something.
Yeah, but you know what though? The one thing about Halloween Kills though, it's an easy watch. I feel like I feel like you said, you watched it how many times? 3 already, or 4? Maybe?
Yeah.
But to me, I watched it twice. It was an easy watch. I feel like 2018 is not that easy of a watch for me. I feel like it drags a little bit.
Here's the difference. It's paced a lot better. That's the one thing about Halloween Kills. I'll say the pacing of that movie. It never stops. It just
Right.
goes from one thing to the. And yeah, you're right. 2018 is more deliberate, slow, and in that way, it's harder to watch.
5 fucking times? God.
Yeah, buddy.
I watched it again. I watched it with Jared on Halloween night. He wanted to see it. We didn't. That's another buddy of me and Uncle Bill's. And one thing that I noticed that I didn't notice before, and I'm sure if you guys have seen it multiple times, you notice, there's a flashback scene in Halloween Kills from Halloween 2. Now, how the fuck is that possible?
Which scene is it?
So it's the scene where Sheriff Brackett is taking the sheet down and Nancy Loomis's, corpse is laying there and shit. That is only in Halloween 2. That's not in Halloween 1.
Oh, that's
See,
right.
you knew they were going to screw that up, and it's one of those things if it's so unnecessary that they tried to get rid of Halloween 2. That's the problem. It goes so well with the first one. Everything seems like it's all the same night, and I think that they screwed themselves because why? It was such a big to do to have to get rid of Halloween 2. It's stupid. It was no point to X out the brother sister storyline. They could make the same exact movies
And they've
have
done
them
this
brother and
shit.
sister and nothing happens.
They've done this shit before because in Halloween H2O, you forgot about everything else but Halloween 1 and 2.
Right.
Right. And now they're forgetting about everything but Halloween 1. Even though they use a scene from Halloween 2.
Scott's Wrestling Collection says Halloween Kills, Tyler Mane and Tony Moran should have been Big John and Little John. That would have been killer.
Yeah, I would have loved that. I could not have hated on that movie at all if that was in
Dude,
there.
that would have been so funny, especially because what Moran said about him, he could just call him that the whole time, and it would make sense.
Don't be my cocksucker, Tyler.
Big John. Oh my god.
But yeah, I think Halloween, the big difference between Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, it felt like from the beginning of Halloween 18, it felt like you were watching something more epic. Like there was a reason for everything. Whereas Halloween Kills, there's just so many things where you're like, what the? Seriously, all of them hanging out at the fucking bar.
Yeah.
And some of the dialogue and stuff too.
You know what the best dialogue is, though, don't you?
What's that?
Yeah. 3
You
words.
know what it is?
3 words. Sounds like.
Did he kill again? Did Michael kill again?
Hawkins!
What's going on in here?
Yeah. Oh, fuck. When I rewatched it, that whole sequence with the Donald Pleasance, I'm just like, holy shit, that's truly horrible. But
I love that flashback scene, but that is funny because it's just a random thing.
Yeah,
and what
the
if he didn't?
flashback-
What would happen if he's like, no, he didn't? He's like, oh, all right, we'll let him go
later,
then.
the
You want to
flashback
go to
scene
Denny's?
is
Grand Slam
probably
breakfast?
the flashback scene is probably the best part of that whole movie to me. Now that I watched it,
Somebody needs to re-edit the beginning of the movie though and put Mr. Sandman in it. I'm telling you, they fucked up.
yeah.
That would have made it even better.
The worst part of that movie is every other character in that fucking movie. God damn. Think about it.
Don't you say nothing about Anthony Michael Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall, Big John, Little John.
They need the other
fucking-
kid from Weird
Evil
Science in it.
dies tonight.
The fucking old couple that's playing with a drone randomly.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
That's stupid. I don't understand why the drone. Like
The other mental patient dude. There
the
was no
other
purpose.
mental patient. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
The
Jamie Lee Curtis should not have even
They're
been
all
in the
good.
fucking movie at all.
No.
Like, they should
No.
have just explained something. She was in a coma or something, and she was, you know.
They did the same thing as they did on the other Halloween 2. They pretty much rid her out of the movie for most of it. She's only in it
Yeah.
for like 20 minutes at the most.
Spend the whole
Yeah, for
time in the
how-
hospital. Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Halloween Kills too. Like, seriously, if it was that easy to get pain medicine, the hospital here in Eastern Kentucky would be overflowing with fucking people.
shoot at my ass. Come on.
I'm here for my anal shot.
Oh, I didn't realize that. TJ Frizzy said Little John was dressed as the razor blade kid from H2. I didn't even notice.
I didn't realize that either. Makes sense though now.
Cool.
Something else that's interesting too. Lonnie, the Lonnie character, that's basically an extra in Carpenter's Halloween. Like, if you go back and look at those characters, he have the same fucking outfit on and everything.
I know.
And, like, I guess it's like a little shirt with little blue stars and shit. So that's pretty cool. And they got the child actor, he looks similar to the boy that played him in the 78 movie. So you can definitely tell it's made by fans. I just wish they would have found somebody that could write a fucking script worth of shit.
Or create any kind of character that's actually memorable in that whole
The
fucking
kills
movie.
in it, well, the kills in it are killer. Like, if you want to watch it just for that, they do a great job with that. Chris Nelson is awesome at all that sort of thing. But, like, you know, I mean, it need a little bit more meat on the bone, if you will.
Yeah. No, and I
Right.
think he does a great job at. I think the new Myers. I think he does a good job. I think he does well with the whole thing. So I'm excited for the finale. I mean, because I feel like 18 and this are just very different movies, like tone wise, you know. And I'm curious to see what they end it with.
And will it be the end?
No.
I
For
mean,
about
of
5
this, of
years.
this little trilogy, yeah, I think so. But then they'll rehash it and shit. But by that time, Jason's going to probably be the next thing they're going to redo for the next like 10 years. Because is that all set to go now? Like they're starting to get that all settled. Is that the
Yeah, I would.
legit?
I think that it's been long enough. They need to hurry and crank that son of a bitch out.
Like,
Out
you
of
know,
the-
Blumhouse is going to get it, and they're just going to ride it for probably three movies.
I'm
wouldn't-
amazed
I
that
wouldn't
they
give it to
haven't
them.
rebooted Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street already.
Well, the
Because
Friday
the-
13th they couldn't because it was under that lawsuit for so long, but now I think it's over. So now I think it's gonna be their next big thing. Freddy,
Elm
I don't
Street-
know, maybe because the other one was such a friggin' nightmare.
I think you could do a killer Nightmare on Elm Street if they were just to do just a new movie, not necessarily a prequel or a remake or anything. You can still even have Robert Englund do the voice of Freddy. Yeah,
You gotta have Robert Englund. We saw what happened when you tried not to do it. It just didn't feel the same. I felt like. I mean, I don't think James Earl. I don't.
I haven't even cut you yet. It's like, so he's doing the fucking Watchmen voice throughout that movie. I almost want to kick him in the fucking dick.
It was the problem was he was a cool Freddy, but he was like too little. You know what I mean? Like he was like a little Freddy, like a small guy.
The whole thing was bad. I thought, like the accent and the makeup,
And he'd always be doing the.
yeah.
You know, that's one
like
movie
Edward
that
Scissorhands more than in freaking Freddy.
you'll get motherfuckers like now, like these movies that came out back in the day and everybody hated, like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and
Of course, you're gonna get
people, you know, there's people that really defend those movies now. Still to this day, I have never seen one fucking person defend Elm Street remake.
that. I think you will. I think it's the worst of the bunch, no question. I mean, I will even go out on the limb, and you guys are gonna probably laugh at me for it, but I was a big fan of the Texas Chainsaw with Jessica Biel in it when it first came out. I thought that was fine. I liked it a lot. I liked Rob Zombie's Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I didn't like. I know now. I feel like more people like Halloween 2 than they did the original one, which I was fine with Rob Zombie's Halloween. I
Dude.
wasn't trying to compare it, but
As much as we're going to hate to do this, by next year, by next Halloween, we are going to have to revisit Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, the theatrical cut versus the unrated cut. Because now I'm hearing people. Because back in the day, I recall the theatrical cut being superior. But now,
it is still superior, though. It's definitely superior now. Still, definitely. I mean, the ending alone is way better. It's different, man. Like, it really. Again, I think Rob Zombie did a good job with like the characters. Still, like he made them like what they could be like PTSD. Like he did a good job with it, but I think the director's cut just was like so far one way, like. There was no sympathetic bone in their body where the theatrical kind of played it back and forth.
Rob Zilla's got a point here, but
He does.
at the same time, he's talking about Halloween 3 when it first came out. It was hated, but now it's a lot of people's favorites. But the reason it was hated was not for the movie itself. It was for the fact, and Friday the 13th 5 is the same way, that technically Michael Myers wasn't in it. That was why I didn't see the movie until I was in high school. Everybody was like, "Oh, you don't want to watch that."
Yeah, you're right.
Has
Like
nothing to do
nobody
with
ever
Myers.
critiqued it on the movie itself. It was critiqued just solely based on they were disappointed with it because and that kind of shined over, I think, the movie itself. But as a whole, I mean, as a movie, it's a good movie.
Darren Burroughs, I class the Rob Zombie films as fan films. You could, but he wasn't even really a fan of Halloween, I don't think. That was the odd thing.
I would actually love to go back and watch a bunch of those remakes. Like we should do that either soon or next year, or do like a month of remakes. Like I'd love to go back. I have not seen like Hills Have Eyes remake in a long time, and I found that I liked that one. Texas Chainsaw, I found that I liked that one, and I haven't watched it in years.
Uncle Bill looks like he don't like that idea.
What? That would be kind of interesting to go back. What do you think of it now compared to what you thought about it at the time?
I think that was just a horrible fucking time for movies. Like looking back on it now, like the remake trend of movies was just 90% of that shit was awful, just almost unwatchable, and like 10% of it was just
So I mean, we know the real
I
bad
just-
ones, but what did you think? Like I even thought Last House on the Left was okay for the time. I mean, again,
I do
Yeah,
remember
it's
that
not-
one not being that bad. It's been a long time since I've seen that, though.
I just can't figure out
Yeah,
the
I
point of
haven't
that
seen it in
whole
a long
era of movies, though. Like, other than to make the studios money, which I get that, but like just in terms of creativity and any kind of like direction for those movies, like they were just fucking horrible.
But when you look at it now, do you feel that a Last House on the Left remake was very random for that time? Like that movie is the one they decided to remake?
Now they just remaking everything, like anything with any name recognition that they could make money off of, they were going to remake. So it got to the point they remade like April Fool's Day and like
Prom night.
yeah, that's
Prom
when
Night,
it got kind of stupid.
Yeah, the original radio show, though, it wasn't a podcast in Birmingham, buddy, by the way. It was a radio show.
It was
Evil
on
Dead,
AM.
Evil
my
Dead
God.
remake is probably my
The,
favorite still. So I'll
We
give
did
that.
endure pretty much. That was the heyday of the remake era for sure. The Omen remake was not very good either. I watched that once. I never had the courage to watch it again.
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind the Omen
You
one.
know, here's what I'll say though about the Halloween movies. At least those movies had a vision. Like you knew that the director had a specific vision for those movies. I just fucking hated that vision, but it at least had a vision. Like all the rest of the remakes came out were just fucking like, I don't know, just fodder. Like nobody gave a shit about them. They were just doing it to be doing it. But I mean, Rob Zombie, to give him some sort of credit, like at least he like had an idea where he wanted to go with it, what it looked like, or what he wanted it to look like. Like the rest of it was just kind of generic. Like all those
I
movies,
thought
you could lump 100 of them.
I thought the Dawn of the Dead remake had a good style to it.
Yeah, it did. It had the Zack Snyder style. So I mean, you could tell that there was somebody that had like a particular way of filmmaking on that movie too.
See, we got all the remakes right here. We should just do like the top main ones. Like none of those prom night ones or anything like that. Those are junk. I wouldn't even do. I wouldn't even do. Yeah, I wouldn't do that one. The big
Maniac.
ones like Out Dawn.
Maniac was
You know,
interesting.
Maniac
though.
was a good movie. I thought that was a good one, but that kind of felt like to me that came way later. But I could be my
It did.
time.
It was. That was like when we stopped doing the show.
I
when
thought
that came out.
the Suspiria remake was actually not too bad. It was
Yeah, I
different.
thought that was good too. But
That
again,
almost
it's
wasn't
hard.
even a remake. That movie was so different. Like
Yeah, I mean, I would. Yeah, it's not definitely not because it had a
The
different.
reimagining.
Yeah,
reimagining. Yeah.
yeah. The end on that one I thought was way like left field. So, but yeah, Prom Night remake was terrible. I agree with you on that one. There was just all kind. Like there's so many of those bad remakes that I can't even think of them all. I mean, there were just tons and from like
The Fog,
2000, 2005 to like 2010. I would love just a list. Maybe we should do a podcast on that.
Like all of them.
Find all of the remakes that came out in those 5 years from 2005 to 2010. That was the peak year of the Dead Pit radio show, I would say, peak years. And just kind of briefly go through them. I think that'd be fun.
I say we take 10 and do commentaries live.
What do you mean? 10 movies
10 commentaries?
Not
one
all
day.
1 month, but I'm saying
In
like
one day.
in one
one
day?
day,
24
one day,
hours.
one
You have
one
to watch-
weekend.
Yeah, I
I
wouldn't mind
wouldn't do
doing
the
that.
fog. I wouldn't do the fog. I would like to do Texas Chainsaw Hills Have Eyes, Last House.
We did the fog commentaries up on Dead Pit on
Oh
Patreon.com.
man, that's brutal.
$1.
We were drunk as fuck. That was
Damn.
that night we did a drunken commentary for Hostel, and then as drunk as we were, we put the Fog remake in after it. That's the only way we could have done it.
It's crazy, yeah.
So we were extremely intoxicated for the Fog remake commentary. If you want to check that out,
Thank God.
but we do have some more Patreon commentaries we're going to be doing, Uncle Bill, that are requested from the ballers and shot callers. We could mention those, I guess.
That's a good idea. So apparently we're doing fucking commentaries for Funhouse
Ooh, that's a great one, man.
and Sleepaway Camp 2, which I haven't actually seen that movie in, I don't know, like years, over 10 years probably.
It's been a while since I've seen it as well. And that one is kind of hard to come by. Even if you still want to get the old Anchor Bay DVD, it still goes for a pretty decent amount of money. Blu-ray goes for crazy fucking money.
Yeah, the Screen Factory Blu-rays are, what, $100 into the $100 range.
Yeah. So we got that coming up. And then another show that I think we're going to be working on is, I think it's a top 5 horror sequels. So this is not franchises. This is just the movies themselves.
Oh,
So
shit.
that'll be coming up too. What do you got coming up, Steve?
Going to talk about the new 4K of Deep Red and other things tomorrow.
So you got Captain's Quarters tomorrow. Garrett, what are you working on? You got anything coming up the next week or so?
Yeah, I'm going to do a review of the Summer of '84. I'll do a more in-depth review of this edition. I've got some rad recommendations are back, so I'm going to be doing talking about just some movies that people don't talk about often. This month, we're probably going a little bit non-horror stuff, so look for that on Wednesdays. I'll be doing that when I'll have some guests on, and we'll talk about some random movies. And then we'll do a remake commentary, right?
Okay, here's what we could do.
Yep.
Uncle Bill looks so excited.
Here's what we'll do. We will put a poll up. You put a poll up on your YouTube page. We'll put a poll up on our YouTube page. Whichever one gets the most combined votes, we'll put 5 movies on there. Okay. We'll combine both of the polls, and whichever one wins, that's the one we'll end up doing at some point.
No, I don't want to do it. I don't have any interest in this. Let's do a commentary for Home Sweet Home because it's almost Thanksgiving. Come on.
If that's
That would be a
Brandon,
mistake.
Or I'm definitely doing my December is going to be dedicated towards Karate Kid and Cobra Kai. So be ready.
We could do a Karate Kid commentary for sure. That'd be
Hell
fun.
yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah, we appreciate everybody joining us. At Dad Pit on YouTube or at Born2BE-Rad. And we got more cool stuff coming up. Watch along stuff probably. We don't plan this shit out. Maybe we should. We should get a schedule.
No.
Well, they said right here we should do a commentary for Blood Rage. That would be pretty cool.
Blood Rage is fun. Have you seen Blood Rage, Uncle Bill?
In there.
Yeah, it's good. It's not very long either. I think it's a short movie.
You should watch the other one called Blood Rage.
Blood Rage.
Where the guy works at a Yoo-hoo factory and he kills prostitutes.
That sounds good too. Blood Rage 2, Flood of Blood, baby.
A lot of more rage.
We did do Thanksgiving last year. Me and Steve did. That movie fucking sucks.
We'll do part
That,
2 or part 3 this time.
Is that
The
the one with
op-
the talking turkey that kills people
Yeah.
and shit?
Yeah. The opening scene has like a 60-year-old stripper showing her tits. And I was just like... So,
Like it.
she's too old for you, Steve. You like them. You like her grandkids.
I think when it gets past like I think 10, that's it. Steve's over.
I like little girls.
Oh no.
I'm going to prison for 10 years.
Pedophilia's running wild, brother. Here on Deadbit.
Shut it down. Shut this down.
Erase this.
Give us the thumbs up.
Delete.
Like, subscribe. And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right? And it'll notify you anytime that Dead Pit.
Anytime that Wes puts a hat on.
I really don't give a if you do or
I
not.
want you to. I want you to.
I don't care.
Let's keep our community growing here on YouTube.
I don't like it. I don't want you to do nothing.
Listen, they need to do that, pal.
No, don't you dare touch it.
Thanks for not reporting.
Subscribe and click that bell. Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. Dead Pit on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old Dead Pit radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows and fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. Dead Pit on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.